Lyman Abbott was born in 1835 in Massachusetts. He was educated as an attorney and later ordained as a congressional pastor. As a theologian, he served as co-editor of the Christian Union along with his fellow congregational pastor, Henry Ward Beecher. Abbott was a leading proponent of the social gospel movement that sought to apply Christian morality to social and industrial problems. Although Abbott advocated for many progressive reforms, he did not support women's suffrage, and he presented his anti-suffrage arguments in an article entitled "Why Women Do Not Wish the Suffrage," published in the September 1903 edition of the very popular national magazine, The Atlantic Monthly.
In 1895, the women of Massachusetts were asked by the state whether they wished the suffrage. Of the 575,000 voting women in the state, only 22,204 cared enough to deposit in a ballot box an affirmative answer to this question. In round numbers, less than 4% wished to vote. About 96% were opposed to women's suffrage or indifferent to it. Certainly, few women or men will doubt that at the present time an overwhelming majority of women are either reluctant to accept the ballot or indifferent to it. Why this indifference? Why this reluctance? This is the question I will seek to answer. Briefly, I believe it is because a woman feels, even if she doesn't clearly see, that the question of women's suffrage is more than mere politics. It concerns the nature and structure of society, the home, the church, the state, the social fabric, and to a change which involved a revolution in all of these. She interposes an inflexible, though generally silent, opposition. It is for these silent women whose voices are not heard in conventions, who write no leaders, deliver no lectures, and visit no legislative assemblies, that I speak. It is their unspoken thoughts and feelings I wish to interpret. The first and most patent fact in the family is the difference in sexes. Within this difference, the family finds its sweet and sacred bond. It is inbred in the very fiber of the soul. It determines the relationships between men and women. It fixes their mutual service and their mutual obligations. Man is not a rough and tumble woman. Woman is not a feeble and pliable man. This difference in the sexes is the first and most fundamental fact of the family. It is therefore the first and fundamental fact in society, which is but a large family growing out of and produced by the duplication and interrelationships of innumerable families. Because their functions are different, all talk of equality or non-equality is but idle words without a meaning. Man is not an inferior woman. Woman is not an inferior man. They are different in nature, in temperament, in function. We cannot destroy this difference if we would. We would not if we could. In preserving it lies the joy of the family, the peace, prosperity, and well-being of society. The work of direct ministry to the individual, the work of character building, which is the ultimate end of life. Here, a woman takes first place. She builds the home, and she keeps the home. She makes the home sanitary. She inspires it with a spirit of order, neatness, and peace. She broods it with her patient love and teaches us to love by loving her. Her eye discerns beauty. Her deft fingers create it. And to her, the home is indebted for its artistic power to educate. She instills in the little child a love of truth and purity, the subtle sense of honor, the strong spirit of courage and high purpose. If her home duties do not absorb her time and energy, she seeks the field of charity and education. or accepts the invitation which these fields offer to her. She becomes a director or a visitor to some of the innumerable charities which minister to the unfortunate, the feeble, the incompetent. If we accept Micah's definition of religion, to do justly, to love mercy, to walk humbly with God, then we may say, with rare exception, woman chooses to leave to man the sterner task of administering justice and delights herself in the ministration of mercy. She does so because in these unpaid ministries of mercy is a direct impartation of life, which is her highest joy. If she has no home in which she can and does minister, she instinctively seeks the schoolroom as her field and endows with intelligence and equips with culture the children entrusted to her charge. When she looks out the window of her home or school and sees a platoon of policemen run to quell a riot, or a fire engine dashing to extinguish a fire, she has no wish to join them. The boy's eager request, "May I go, Mama?" awakens no like desire in her. For in her subconscious self is the knowledge she is doing the work which makes it worthwhile to quell riots and extinguish fires, and she is right. If she were to go into politics, she would leave undone the work alone for which government exists. Can she not do both? No. No more than can man. He cannot be at the same time in the market winning the bread, in the forum shaping public policies, and in the home ministering to life. Nor can she. She must choose. She may give her time and thought and energy to building a state and engaging in that warfare of wills which politics involves. Or she may give her time and thought to the building of men, on whose education and training church, state, industry, society all depend. She has made her choice and made it wisely. Necessity, born of an imperfect industrial system, may drive a few thousand women into battle with nature in bread-winning vocations, but the great body of American women are true to themselves, to the nature God has given them, and to the service He has allotted to them, the direct ministry to life. And they will not be forced nor enticed from it by their restless, well-meaning, but mistaken sisters.